All right, so let's go ahead and look at my favorite submission from the closed guard position, and that's a triangle choke. Okay? So we'll go ahead and start. There's a lot of ways to set this up, okay? You'll see later on how we can set this up from the open guard in our later videos in our curriculum. But we're just going to go ahead and talk about the basic ways just to finish this position from the diamond position, what I like to call. Okay, so it's basically like a closed guard around his body, but with one arm in. Okay, normally we have two arms into the closed guard. Now just focus on having one arm in and one arm out. And this is the setup we need for the triangle. Okay, this is what it looks like. And I get the tap. Okay, so the first thing I need to do when we're in the diamond position is I have to look to get his arm across. Okay, and it's going to be difficult just to get his arm across here, especially if he knows the position. He's just going to hide his elbow down here, and as I try to drag, he just leaves it down. Okay, so I have to lift my hips up and become as stiff as a board here. Look how I lift. And even if he tries to like hide his elbow, it's going to be very difficult for him to avoid this drag across. Okay? Once I drag his arm across, now I can go ahead and drop my hips down back to the mat, and I'm going to look to control his head with both hands. Notice when I control his head, my arm is over his trapped arm here. I don't want to give him the opportunity to bring his arm back to the other side if I have my arm underneath his arm here, okay? So always have your arm over the trapped arm, controlling his head with both hands here. Now, just like the rest of our closed guard submissions, I have to get an angle. So I'm gonna put my left foot right on the hip, and it's even more important to go ahead and keep your knee pinched to his side here, because a lot of the times if I just squeeze, I can get the submission without even completing it. Okay, don't actually do it. Make sure we complete our triangle, but just so you see the importance of keeping this leg tight to his shoulder. Okay. Well, so once again, we'll go ahead and rotate off the hip and get my angle. I want to get my angle to the point where I'm bringing my calf perpendicular to his neck. Once I have my angle, my left hand is going to grab my shin or like the instep of my foot, and I'm continuing to hold on and keep his posture broken down here to allow my left leg to come up over the top to finish the triangle. Really make sure you have a good bite, okay? Sometimes people will barely hold on to the triangle by like locking it up here, all right? It's not a good triangle submission. I want to make sure that my hamstring or the back of my knee is completely lined up with the instep of my foot. Now I can go ahead and keep a good pinch with my legs coming inward towards his head as I pull down on his head with both hands, and I get the submission, okay? Give John a second to breathe here, and I'll show it one more time. Looking a little pale. So look, very simple. Start in the diamond position. I lift my hips up, and I drag the arm across. Once the arm's across, I can drop my hips, trap his head over his arm here. I get my angle, staying tight to his body. Look how I shift, bring the calf over the top of his neck, grab my foot, complete the triangle. Now I squeeze inward with my legs, and I pull down on the head, and then I get a nice, tight, high percentage submission from the closed guard, which is the triangle choke.